Okay, so yesterday I mentioned, right, that there is something called as secondary rules of interpretation. Primary rules we have seen, there is something called as secondary rules as well. So what are these secondary rules? We will see that.
Ma'am, primary rules are like golden rule, lateral rule, and what to say? Golden,
Mischief,
lateral, and
harmonious,
mischief rule. Sorry.
yeah, mischief rule, harmonious construction. Beneficial is also there, but these four are like very important. Okay, if you want, you can put beneficial rule also here, but these four are very important that you need to mention when we talk about primary rules. Then we have secondary rules. So other than primary rules, there are some other ways also which are applied in interpretation of statute. So what are these secondary rules? First of all, nocitur associis, Ejusdem Generis, Reddendo singula singulis. Okay, so what is meaning of these words? First of all, nocitur associis. Nocitur associis is a Latin term which means associated words. The meaning of unclear words or phrases is to be determined or interpreted on the basis of its context and the words and phrases surrounding it. Has it ever happened to you, somebody asked you meaning of a certain word? Like if I randomly ask you that, what does admission mean? Okay, so what answer you would give? You might feel like, okay, admission means what? Admission are you talking about? Are you talking about admission in a college or university? Are you talking about admission in a hospital or admission in a school? What is, in what context you are asking, right? So when somebody asks us meaning of a certain word, sometimes we don't straight away answer them, right? We rather try to ask them that in what context are you asking. Or if somebody says that what is meaning of this word, we might ask them, okay, what is the sentence where you have got that word? Ever have you come across this kind of a situation?
Hmm. One word, two different meanings, ma'am.
Yeah, one word might have two different meanings, right? Like I might ask you that, okay, what this certain word means in Hindi? And you might be like, okay, where have you got it? What is the sentence? What is the context? Like we need to know what, in what context you are asking about it, right? One word might have multiple meanings because, right? So this is nothing but what is nocister associis, that it might happen that one word might be having different meanings. We need to know in what context you are talking about so that we can tell you properly. Okay, like if I ask you, okay, what is the admission process, you will ask me, what admission process are you talking about? Admission in LLB, admission in school, admission in a hospital, what admission are you talking about? Right, you cannot tell me what is the admission process unless and until I specify you what admission I'm talking about, right? And you will know about it only when I tell you the proper statement, that what is the process of admission in KSLU. Then only you will be able to tell me, right? Otherwise it becomes confusing. So how do we know what admission I'm talking about? You need to see what other phrases are surrounding you need to know the context. If I tell you what is the admission process, you cannot answer. If I ask you what is the admission process for LLB in KSLU, you will be able to answer me, right? That's nothing but what is nocister associis. We need to see the surrounding words, in what context you are asking about it. Okay, so nocitor means to know and socius means in association. The importance of this rule is that it aims to interpret by reading whole statute. It's not that one single word we will pick from somewhere and try to interpret it. We need to understand it in the whole context. It does not emphasize one particular word, but it tends to interpret the word by looking into its preceding and succeeding words. We don't try to give meaning to a certain word just randomly. We try to see what is previously said, what is after it said. Like we need to try to read the entire sentence or maybe entire provision. After that only we try to give meaning to it. The words understood in a cognitive sense and intention of the legislation can be easily understood. We need to know what is the intention of legislation. We need to properly apply our mind, read the entire sentence, and then only we should give meaning. Not like if I ask you what is admission process, you would randomly answer. You need to know what admission I am talking about, then only you will answer. That's nothing but nocitor associis. It was applied in this case, State of Assam versus R. Muhammad. What happened here is Supreme Court made use of this rule to arrive at the meaning of the word posting. Now, if I ask you what is posting, what would you answer? What do you think posting is?
Like a transfer of job maybe from
Transfer.
one place to another, or transfer of like position from a junior to senior, or senior to like
Okay.
I'm like
posting job
appointing,
position.
Sorry. Also
I'm appointing.
appointing. Okay, appointing,
Yeah.
promotion. Yeah. And anything else?
That's it, ma'am.
Okay. So when I say
Multiple
posting, it might have multiple meanings, right? Posting, when a person
from
gets
one
a
place
new
to another.
job, posting after a promotion, right? Or I might say that I'm posting a letter to someone. That's also posting,
Yeah, ma'am.
right? Posting would have different meanings. Okay. So in this case, the main question was what posting means. Okay. So in this case, this secondary rule was applied, no sister resources, in order to understand meaning of the word posting, which is used in Article 233 clause 1 of the Constitution, which relates to appointment of district judges. Okay, it relates to appointment of district judges of the Constitution. So it held that since the word posting occurs in association with words appointment and promotion, it took its color from them, and so meaning of assignment of an appointee or promoted to a position, and does not mean transfer of a person from one station to another. So when we talk about posting, they said that it means only, we need to understand the context, because we are talking about appointment of district judge, right? So somebody who is promoted as a district judge, that would be included. Somebody who is appointed as a district judge, that would be included. But it would not mean simple transfer of one district judge to another district judge. Okay, so we need to understand the context, because we are talking about appointment of district judge. So when we say appointment, in context of appointment, posting would mean somebody who is appointed, maybe directly by way of examination or by way of promotion. In that sense, we need to understand it. It would not include transfer of one district judge to another place as a district judge, like same level. It would not include. Is it clear?
Ma'am, ma'am, can you repeat this, ma'am? I didn't get this.
Posting
This
word, they
case,
had to
in this case,
understand the
what was
meaning.
like state Assam versus Mohammed? What was the case, no?
See, this person was like transferred, okay, as a district judge from one district to another district. He was transferred. It was not related to promotion, or he was not as such directly appointed. He was transferred as a district judge from one district to another. So the question
Okay.
was whether this word posting that is used in this article, it means
Mm-hmm.
appointment, promotion, or it means transfers also. So court had to understand what posting means in Article 233 of Constitution. So they tried to understand the meaning that, okay, posting is used in relation to appointments. So when we say appointments, it would mean appointment of a person, or maybe promotion of a person as district judge. But it would not mean transfer of persons. Okay, is it clear?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
See, in these cases, right, whatever you get in interpretation, you need to see how that particular rule was applied. Okay, you need not know what happened in this case. Was the person transferred or not transferred? Those things we are not concerned here. Okay, because we are
Mm-hmm.
understanding this case in relation to how these rules were being applied. Okay, so in this case, how it was applied, that we need to know meaning of posting. We will not simply understand it randomly, we will understand it in relation with this word appointment. So what appointment or posting would mean in relation to appointment, it would mean appointing a person or maybe promotion of a person. That would be meant, but not transfer of a person. Okay, is it clear or
Okay.
confusing?
Like posting means no transfer, appointment, or promotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not like in general. Okay, for this
No,
certain,
in law.
yeah, for this particular article, it would mean. Okay, next rule we have is Ejusdem Generis. Let me give you one example. Uh, when you appear for some exams, right, you will get these kind of questions. Can you tell me what will be this in the blank? What you will fill in this blank?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
8.
12.
8 you will fill. Okay. And what about this one?
Is 3 gaps.
Yeah, this
I'm
is like a
Friday.
blank. What you will fill here? Friday. Correct. So how did you decide that this will be 8 and this will be Friday only?
It could be
You are right. This is 8 and this is Friday only. But how did you decide? How did you come to that conclusion?
Because of
like
consecutive. The
Yes,
width of the each class is like widths
the
are
difference is constant, ma'am.
correct. That is nothing but what a system generis is. Okay, you also applied that same rule only. So what it says is we need to see what is common in all these. What you saw that okay, fine. One gap is there. That here also same thing has happened. That's nothing but a system generis. Okay, what it says of the same kind. It has to be same. Okay, you also saw that okay, 2, then 4, then 6, then it should be 8 only. After that, 10 and 12. You saw what is similarity in it. Right? So generally, the words should be given their natural meaning unless it requires special meaning based on the context. It is fine if natural meaning is making sense, if you are able to understand the concept, if it is giving justice, no problem there. Apply the natural meaning. But sometimes it might happen that words are very much complicated, right? We are confused what this certain word means and what not. Okay, in such situations, we can apply this rule. Okay, when general words follow
Thanks, Jaro.
yeah, sorry.
No, ma'am, sorry. I talked to my mother once.
So when general words follow specific words that are distinct in nature, the general word should be given the specific meaning to it. If you are able to understand with general meaning, it's fine. If not, what we will do? So court will interpret such general words to follow specific words in a restricted way. It will be based on the facts and circumstances of the case, which may change case from case to case. The legislative intent on principle of existum generis is if the general words to be used in the restricted sense, that means those words will be having a special meaning to it. Else, why would they even use specific words? So, what a certain word means, we have confusion over there. To understand it, we are applying this rule. Like there was a case called University of Madras versus Santabai. Very important case. You will study it in Constitution also. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so
I listened to this case. I don't know what basically.
okay, article. Okay, so there is one provision, very important provision under Constitution. It is called as Article 12. Okay, it provides for a definition of the term state. Okay, so in general, what happens when I say state? What state means? State of Karnataka, state of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh,
Yes,
like that
ma'am.
we use the word state, right? But for the purpose of two parts under Constitution, Part 3 and Part 4, this word state is having a wider meaning. Okay, it's not just state of Karnataka, state of Bihar, but it's having a wider meaning. What wider meaning it is having? It would include parliament also, it would include legislature also. Plus, it would include other authorities, okay, other local authorities within the territory of India or under control of India. So it includes a lot of different bodies.
Like whole
Yeah.
country, ma'am. State means
in international law, state means the country, but here it means different departments, different organs of the government, basically. Okay. So now what happened is, when you look at the provision, right, it is a bit confusing, because first of all, it says Parliament of India. Okay, it says government and Parliament of India. When we say government, it means executive, legislature, and it means Parliament of India. Fine, it is clear. It means government of the state and legislature of each of the states. Fine, that is also clear. But when we say all local or other authorities within the territory of India or under control of government, what does local and other authorities mean? That was the confusion. Okay, so court had to decide what local and other authorities mean. In this case, University of Madras versus Santabai, court had to decide whether university is included under Article 12 or not. Okay, and court said that we will apply Ejusdem Generis. We need to see what is similarity in these things. Okay, when we look at this definition, there are three things given: government and Parliament of India, government and state legislature, and all local and other authorities. So we need to look at the similarities. First of all, it is talking about government and Parliament of India. It's like a sovereign body, right? Same ways it is also saying government and legislature of each of the state. So because this sovereign thing is common, right? Like a government department, it would include government body, it would include. When we talk about local and other authorities, it also should perform some governmental functions. Okay, so university cannot be included under definition of Article 12 because it is not having those similarities with these two provisions. Like that, Ejusdem Generis was applied, and it was said that university is not included under Article 12. But later on, this decision was changed. Now it is said that universities are also included. But this case is important because Ejusdem Generis was applied here. Okay, so Ejusdem Generis, they tried to see what is like nature, what is similarity between these three things. If first two are talking about governmental bodies performing governmental functions, third one, other authorities, also should mean something which is performing governmental or sovereign function. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, got it, ma'am. Like similar in nature,
Similar in
basically,
nature. Yes.
it should be included under the assumption
Yes.
generis.
We need to see the similarity in order to understand what a certain provision means.
Okay.
Okay, last one we have is Reddendo singulis. So this is again a Latin term which means by referring each to each. Sometimes it happens, right? We say a sentence wherein we say, we might say that this person, okay, Ram, Rahim, and Kiran got 5, 20 rupees respectively. Can you tell me who got how much rupees? Ram, Rahim, and Kiran, three persons are there. Who got how much rupees?
Ram 5, Rahim 10, and Kiran 20.
How you got to know? Because I have used the word
Because
respectively.
and the name is like order, and
Hmm.
money is also in order, first 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ma'am.
Correct. When we use the word respectively, it makes it very clear that, okay, how much who got. Sometimes this might not be there. What we will do in that situation, that's what this rule is all about. Okay, it says each to each, referring each phrase or expression to its corresponding object we need to understand. Okay, in simple words, Reddendo singulis means when list of words has a modifying phrase at the end, the phrase refers only to the last. So how we will understand it? There was this case where this rule was applied. Okay, what happened here is they had to understand a certain provision, that is Article 304 of the Constitution. In that provision, it says, provided that no bill or amendment, okay, no bill or amendment for the purpose of clause B shall be introduced or moved in the legislature of a state without previous sanction of the president. Now here, respectively word is not being used. So we have two terms here, bill or amendment, introduced or moved. So it had to be understood that bill introduced refers to bill, or introduced refers to amendment, or moved refers to bill, or it refers to amendment, or is it that it can be used for both? Okay, that was the confusion. How we need to understand it, because here respectively is not being used, that bills or amendments introduced or moved respectively not being used. So we had to understand it, what introduced stand for and what moved we can relate to. Okay, so in this case it was held that the word introduced applies to bill and moved applies to amendment. Like we need to understand each with each. First of all, we have bill, so we need to understand it in context of introduced. So introduced bill or moved amendment, because that is used second. Okay, each phrase we need to understand for the remaining one. First bill is used, so introduced bill. Second moved is used, so moved amendment. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Like we should find the similarities of words. Basically, if two words are having like 1 and 2, and the other thing has like 3 and 4, like comparing, ma'am. Basically,
like order, in order we need to understand.
Yeah, in order.
Okay, so these are the secondary rules of interpretation.
Ma'am, it's like Reddendo singula singulis means like understanding the words similarities, no, ma'am. Like in order to keep
order, you can say each phrase with each.
respectively.
Yeah.
If it's not mentioned also respectively, each
Yes.
phrase goes to each phrase orderly.
Yes, in that order only we can understand it.
Okay, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
Okay, so these secondary rules or primary rules, all these are important because statute might not always be clear, explicit, and unambiguous. A lot of confusions are there when we read a certain provision. So that's how rules help us to get clear meaning out of the complicated words. In such cases, it is essential for courts to determine a clear and explicit meaning of the words. When there are doubts or when certain words are not clear, it's duty of the courts that they clarify those things, they give proper meaning to the words. So different rules are becoming very important in that context. Okay, so nociter associis, it means to know in association. You cannot give meaning to a certain word just like that. You need to understand the context. In what context a certain word is being used, like that you can give proper meaning. Ejusdem generis means you find out the similarity, what is common that is going on, that you need to understand. Reddendo singula singulis, it's like an order, you need to understand it. Okay.
Ma'am, this Ejusdem Generis, one more time, ma'am, like small.
Ejusdem generis means we try to find out the similarity. Like you said, okay, fine. After 2, 4, 6, what is the
Okay, ma'am.
similarity?
Got it.
One gap, right? We try to find the
Mm.
similarity. So in this case, it was said that what is similarity? Other two bodies are governmental bodies performing sovereign functions. So other authorities also should be governmental bodies performing sovereign function only, like panchayat and all, municipalities and all, but not an university. Like that it was understood.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll share this document with you. You can go through this part. Unit 4 is over. Okay. Unit 2, I will see if something more is there. I will try to add it. And tomorrow we can discuss it. Otherwise, Unit 4, I'll share the document one more time. You can go through these parts. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Fine then.